Why would public universities do that? Like, public universities, 9.9 out of 10 times, they will have Greek life. Private institutions, some people are going to struggle when they come out of this little bubble because they're going to be put in a world that's highly saturated with liberty. Please don't come for me for the statement that I'm about to make. But yeah, even though there's not going to be Greek life most of the time at private colleges, there's still going to be. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and this is the very first video of mine that you are clicking on and watching, welcome to my channel. My name is Christina Clark. I am 20 years old and I am a junior, well, I guess a senior now, oh my gosh, at Liberty University. And Liberty University, if you have never heard of that college, it is a private Christian, predominantly Baptist university. In today's video, I am talking about the insane and crazy differences between a public university and a private one. Just a little backstory on me. I went to a public college, Old Dominion University to be specific, for 2 years, and then I transferred to Liberty University for my junior year of college, which is just now concluding. It's the end of year one at Liberty, and wow, I have learned that it's very different. I knew it would be, but I don't think I understood the severity of how different. So I thought this would be a really cool and fun video to make for you guys. I've been wanting to make this since I even started my channel. So yeah, I'm just gonna be sharing with you guys 10 major crazy differences that I have personally found between secular and private colleges. So if that's a video that you want to watch, then keep on watching. When I'm with you. Alright, I do have a couple guests here, both of my dogs. Alright, so this video, let's go ahead and talk about some of the main and significant differences that I have found between private and public colleges. I do have to put a few disclaimers in this video. One, this is all like contingent on my personal experience. So like I said, I went to ODU and I transferred to Liberty. My experience with these colleges are probably, it can be completely different than someone who went to these same schools. Like, I could have had a complete like 180 version of a different experience that someone else may have had at a same school. Also, I only have experience at ODU and Liberty, so I can't say that this is true for every public college and every private university. I just can't, because that's like a flaw, a major flaw. I did try to make each point as applicable to as many colleges as possible, so I tried to not keep it like ODU or Liberty University specific, if that makes sense. If you do want like a specific Liberty video, I have a ton of them already on my channel, so you can watch those if that's like the type of content that you want to see. I feel like that's it for the disclaimers. Also, I'm not throwing shade on anyone or anything. Like, this is just the truth. We're gonna bring truth to the darkness. I'm not trying to be shady. I'm not trying to like, no, there's none of those feelings, so don't even let that thought enter the chat, because that's not it. I'm just keeping it real, being 100 and giving it to y'all straight, which I think you guys would appreciate and respect more than me sugarcoating or just being fake, because we don't do that on this channel. Let's go ahead and get into these 10 things, these 10 differences. Okay, so the first one, I have to state the obvious. And that is private universities, a lot of them are religious. Like, a lot of them do have a religious affiliation. So like Liberty University, it is a Christian university, but it's Baptist. Obviously, if you're looking at private colleges that are religious, they are going to differ heavily from public universities who don't revolve around like people's faith. And that sets the tone for a lot of these points, because a lot of these things you may be like, wait, what? Christian universities do that? What? Why would public universities do that? Like, I get it, but understanding that key difference is going to hopefully put a lot of this stuff into perspective for you guys. But of course, not every private college is religiously affiliated, but majority of them are. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 2, we're talking about dorm curfews. If you look at secular and public universities, 9.9 out of 10 times, you're not gonna have a curfew. But there are quiet hours. That's a thing where you have to keep the noise level down. Now, do people actually follow suit with that? I don't know. It depends on what school you go to and what dorm you stay at. But public universities, they do have quiet hours and no curfew. private universities, most likely, like, you will find that there are still quiet hours. And I know Liberty, I believe it's like 10, 11 p.m. But there are curfews. I've talked to a few of my friends who have transferred from other private institutions, and they have had curfews too. Liberty University, their curfew is 12 a.m. on weekdays, and then on the weekends it is 12:30 a.m. So that is a big difference. Curfew, no curfew. Number three is a saucy one, I would say, because it's about Greek life. We're talking about Greek life, which is fraternities and sororities. Public universities, 9.9 out of 10 times, they will have Greek life. Private institutions, I want to say most likely will not have Greek life. Looking at public universities when it comes to Greek life, even though like a lot of public colleges do have Greek life, that doesn't mean that every chapter is offered at every single school. So like for me, I'm a sister of Alpha Phi. There isn't an Alpha Phi at every single college that has Greek life. Like I know the University of Tennessee, I don't think they have Alpha Phi, but like Virginia Tech does, ODU does, JMU, I believe they do. Like each school has different sororities and fraternities, and likewise the number of sororities and fraternities at each college, like they vary. I know ODU's Greek life compared to say like Virginia Tech, very different and quite smaller. I know they're growing though. Shout out to them. Love that. And likewise, the recruitment and initiation process at each school is very different. If you want a video on like Greek life and sororities, I can do that. Yeah, even though there's not gonna be Greek life most of the time at private colleges, there's still gonna be cliques. Like I don't want to say it makes up for Greek life, because Greek life is kind of cliquey. It's like a mini high school, but like there is still that cliquey aspect and hierarchy. And also another thing to know about Greek life is that if your school has Greek life or not, or if the school that you're looking at attending, whatever, if they have Greek life, that drastically changes what homecoming looks like for your school. Number 4. This one I guess is specific to Liberty, yes, but I guess just like Christian colleges or like private institutions that are religiously affiliated, and that's praying. There's a lot of praying going on at Liberty. There's praying over classes before tests. In the dining halls, we have this thing called convocation twice a week. We also have a massive Bible study every Wednesday night alongside like other Bible studies and things going on. There's lots of praying. Okay, I have never seen that before coming to school at Liberty. And so at ODU, like that wasn't a thing. There wasn't praying. That makes sense. I mean, there could be like for your own personal relationship with the Lord, but if you're gonna look at the campuses as a whole, very different, very different. Number 5, this one's a little saucy because this is about partying and drinking, all of that stuff. Listen, public universities, you already know. Like you already know the answer to that. Yeah, of course there's that at public colleges. Private institutions, there still is, but it's so minuscule. It's not on the like same playing field as public colleges whatsoever. Number 6 is a big one, which I feel like is something a lot of people gloss over or they don't really pay attention to, and that is the institution's own freedom. And what I mean by this is public colleges, like they receive money from the government. Private institutions, like they rely on tuition, endowments. Because private universities aren't like relying on state taxes, they're not kind of controlled by the government in that sense. And so I don't want to say they can make their own rules, like they're not going crazy, but if you want to take this whole COVID situation, I'm going to use this for an example. A lot of schools were not able to have classes in person for the 2020-2021 school year. ODU did not do classes in person. Everything was online. I believe all the Greek life recruitment was done like via the webcam, but Liberty University, all the classes were in person. Yes, we had to follow some strict guidelines, and we did have to social distance and have face masks and different things like that. There was more of that room to be able to do that versus like a public university, if that makes sense. So the institutions themselves have more freedom when it comes to things like that. It's not always the case, it's not with everything, but there's no denying that there is a little bit more freedom for the institutions themselves. Oh my gosh, number 7. Yo, number 7, we're talking about, hold up, fashion. That's so extra of me. At public universities, the fit attire is, at least for females, oversized, XL, comfort colors tee, bonus points if it's like a fraternity shirt, and running shorts. At private colleges, at least Liberty, sis, that ain't it. That ain't it. You have to dress to impress. At public universities, people just want to bum it. And you know, I kind of miss that aspect, but also I am grateful that I am learning how to dress more professionally, and I guess I'm building my wardrobe. Like, if you're looking at me right now, yo, okay, I don't know if I can properly show this. I don't know if this looks cute to you guys, but like, I thought my fit was pretty cute. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. There's a big difference for fashion. And then number 8 is kind of piggybacking off of this wardrobe principle. Dress code. A lot of my friends who did go to other private colleges, they said they had a dress code and that their dress code was actually stricter than Liberty. So in comparison to other colleges that are private, Liberty has a lenient dress code. Now, all of my public university students who are hearing this, you're like, dress code? Dress code? I mean, that was my reaction when I found out about it at Liberty. But yeah, dress code is a thing, but it's not bad, I promise you. Honestly, Liberty, please don't come for me for this statement that I'm about to make, but I break dress code a lot. I've just been good at hiding it. I don't know if I should put this in there. Okay, there are 2 more things that I want to talk about and bring up. The 9th thing, wow, we're already at number 9, crazy, is school events. I felt like at ODU, like there were school events, don't get me wrong, but no one showed up and no one came out. Like, no one cared about them. Yes, some people did. A lot of people just care about partying more so than going to a school hosted event. Liberty, like, there's not that big party culture, and a lot of people are sober, love that. They're not going out and partying, so they'll go to these school events because that's where friends will come together and hang out and have a fun, grand time. Liberty, like, they put on a lot of concerts. If you go to a smaller Christian college or a smaller private university, maybe they might not have as many school events, but in comparison for ODU to Liberty, people didn't show up at ODU to many school events, but they did for Liberty. So the 10th and final thing that I want to talk about, it's a big one. If you go to a public university and you are a part of that culture, there's a lot of social norms that come with it, and there's a lot of like other aspects that accompany living that lifestyle. And to be completely honest, going to a public university and that worldview and that set of social norms, it's more applicable to the real world. Now you'd be like, Christina, like, you're still part of the real world if you go to like a private college that's still Christian. No. Yes and no. When you go to a Christian university, you're in a bubble. You're in a little bubble that I think forgets a lot of the time what the real world encompasses. And I guess just what I'm trying to get at is I'm not condemning anybody. I'm not like hating on anybody, but it's something to note that like there's 2 very different perspectives. There's some people who think that partying is completely normal and a normal thing in life, and there's people who think that like you're not gonna go anywhere in life and like it's like the worst thing ever, and it's like that's I feel like a lot of people are gonna think I'm throwing shade and I'm being mean, but I'm not. Not everyone at public colleges party, okay? Not everyone at private institutions don't party, okay? There is some like minorities in that respect. I guess just the point that I want to get across, there's different worldviews, there's different social norms. I think it's important to be aware of everyone's like different perspectives and social norms, because the way that a lot of people at Liberty, like the way they live their life, a lot of people at ODU would be like, whoa, that's crazy, man. That's so strict. That's so OD. Some people at Liberty will look at lifestyles of people at ODU or just like any public university and be like, whoa, wait, that's radical. That's over the top. Like, they seemed so very different and very opposing. And I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends and a lot of other people that some students who do go to the school and other private Christian universities who do kind of like have this mindset and tendency, some people are going to struggle when they come out of this little bubble because they're going to be put in a world that's highly saturated with a lot of worldly lifestyles and habits and things that definitely don't honor God. I'm really thankful because I've had both experiences where I have gone to a public university and I go to a Christian university now. You guys know this by now. But I also worked like at multiple restaurants and I've seen like the lifestyles and like the different things that go on. I worked at like Virginia Beach oceanfront where there's like lots of nightlife activities. So I've seen a lot. I've done a lot, I've witnessed a lot. But there's a lot of people who are not cultured in that respect. There's people who were very sheltered growing up. And I think it's very important to be aware of those two things. So yeah, that is my video. I totally just went on a rant. I mean, like trying not to offend anyone, but also like needing to just be truthful and tell you how it is. Hope you like this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would love to have you guys a part of the family. I upload new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. If you do, for some reason, like want a part 2 to this, or if you want a similarities video, I don't know, let me know. I want to make content that you guys like seeing. But yeah, if you guys would like to follow me on my socials, they are popping up on the screen right now, as well as they will be linked in the description box down below. And I think the only thing left to say is, may the Lord bless you, may he keep you, may he make his face shine upon you. I love you guys so much. If you are applying to colleges right now, I wish you the best of luck. You will end up exactly where you're supposed to be. I am praying for you guys. I love you guys, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.